It's a Monday. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. Let's get the guy who always gets the date right. Let's try
Yes,
and answer.
today is the 12th of August, 2024. Good evening, Molweni. How are y'all doing? It's Sino here. What's happening? What's happening? What up, Steels? How you doing? You good?
I'm all good, man. I'm recovering as I had indicated earlier on, man.
What are you recovering from? Please inform us, Caesar.
Let's welcome the lady before we go on into all these other things. The queen is in the building.
Is that right?
A bit royalty after, Miss SA. Well,
Happy Women's
and
Happy
it's Women's
Women.
Month, so yes. Hello, greetings, Molweni.
Hello to the first lady of the
Hello,
podcast.
first lady.
Good evening, madam. How are you doing?
Good. Feeling very good. Very positive this month. Yeah, it's going to be.
It's your month.
Yeah.
It's your month. You should be feeling positive. You know what I'm saying? It's all praise to the ladies, to you guys. You know what I'm saying?
The creators of everything.
No doubt.
All right, we should actually let you lead the podcast today.
No, I mean, at this point, I should.
This entire month, actually.
It's all yours.
So good to see you guys. How have you guys been?
We've been
good.
I
don't know, still.
Some of
Let
us
me
are
let you
recovering.
go. From what exactly, Caesar, are you recovering from, my friend? Can you inform us?
Dude, we got together. It was the second time, MXO and I. And we did some studio time.
New music alert! Boo, 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 boo. Some new music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's odd because every time we meet up, that's all we do. Like, we will hang out. How you been? Oh, studio. Any beats? Anything recorded? So that's what we're doing. And the last time we put something out was with Tukabila back in 2019, and because of COVID, we couldn't do we couldn't do videos. We couldn't, be out there to promote the, the single. So this time around, it's a hip hop vibe, and
Nice.
MX killing it. So going spring into summer, it's gonna be dope. So yeah.
No doubt.
So
And,
in part, that's what we were doing.
I love the fact that you say that every time you link up, you do something. I mean, if there's one thing we learned from COVID, that you got to seize the moment. There's no next time we should do this, because we never know if there will be a next time or that will not happen.
Exactly.
So that's super dope that you guys seize the moment. And yeah, why not? I mean, do your thing, man.
So yeah, that's what's up. How's your week been, bro?
Hey man, last week, man, was crazy. It was a 4-day weekend. It was crazy. Like I was actually all the way out in Polokwane for like a day around there doing some work that side, and then I was also in the Northwest on Thursday. It's just been crazy, man. But I mean, busy is good. So yeah, that is pretty dope. I love that. And then the weekend came, and the weekend sports obviously
It was the longest weekend, though.
Yeah, that was the longest weekend. The Springboks back in action, doing what they do, doing what they do. I mean, man, the game was super early. Game was 6:45 on Saturday morning, but me and my group of friends who love to watch the game, we woke up, went to our sports bar around the corner. We were in there at 6:30. Having breakfast and with the cold one, watching the game. It was awesome, and it was. I think we are literally, I'm a big rugby fanatic, and I honestly think the Springboks right now are in an era of almost near perfect. It's crazy. I mean, if you just look at that game, the first 3 tries of the game were scored by flanks. Loose forward, number 6 and number 7. And I mean, that's just crazy weird. That just tells you like how dominant we are. We're not just scoring with our fast backline players. The game was, I think the final score was 33-7, but at halftime it was 21-0.
It was 21-0, yeah.
We're playing in Australia. This is not a game here in SA. No. In their backyard, whipping them like that. It was crazy. beautiful to watch, you know. And then
Spanking little boys, bro.
Then New Zealand lost against Argentina the game after the rugby championship. So it's man, it's dope right now. It's dope. It's rugby is we are, you know, our captain Clea scored the first try. My man. Beautiful. You know, no, this game was awesome. It's just, I think we just we're so confident with our play and our players that, you know, just trying out new things. I mean, it's crazy. It's beautiful. We are. It's awesome times. Rugby, that was great. You know, that started the weekend nicely. No doubt.
A bonus point in the bag, and obviously showing these boys that, like, we're out here.
Doubt.
No
doubt.
By the way,
awesome.
to you at home, before we find out from the First Lady how her weekend was, you can join us, join the chat, whatever you feel you want us to talk about, apart from what we've planned for you. Today, please toss it in the comments, and obviously we will put it out so that everybody knows that, like, we're not thumb sucking whatever we are doing. Queen, how's your week?
Well, I mean, of course, GBV being one of my biggest passions to raise awareness on, I was at a race where, you know, we were running for a cause. I did my 10K.
Oh yeah, I saw you jumping there in front of those crowds. Yeah.
So, and I was just telling a friend, a lawyer friend of mine, saying that, you know, the 1956 women, they marched for a particular cause. They were fighting a particular, you know, struggle then, and we have different struggles now as women of, you know, of this this generation, right?
Yeah.
Being one of the big issues that we have in the country. So that was amazing. But also I loved running because it brings people together. It's just a nice community. I meet a lot of people that I wouldn't have ever met if being a part of the running community. Just get to know people and, you know, interact with people outside your normal space, workspace, family space, and friendship space. Yeah, and just a lot of planning. There's a lot of things that are coming up that I'm part of in my workspace and in, you know, the foundation that I'm also managing director in. So there's quite a lot of
Mention
things
it by name so people know and they can follow it.
The wing, and I'll talk about that later on. I'll talk about that.
Cool.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things that are happening. So of course we're gonna be busy doing amazing things as we always do. So it's a good week. It's been a good weekend. I'm just excited, man.
Wow, there's been a lot happening, and I just picked up recently. Obviously, I don't know. We were talking about it earlier on. It just doesn't seem to go away. You know what we're talking about. Miss South Africa. And by the way, just learned recently was that if you look there, they actually had they arrested 4 people at the Sunbet Arena who were protesting Chi-Chi's exclusion. So,
but she was not excluded. She's the one who.
Not excluded. She withdrew from the contest, right? She was not excluded.
True that.
Yeah. So,
like, how crazy is this story and the way that it developed and just the information that came out just after we had a discussion about
it.
E-nationality, and then there was other information that resurfaced. It for me was just like it was one series in just one story.
You know,
it was crazy.
It's unfortunate that it came across as if we were bullying the girl and so forth. But I'm gonna share. So what there's things that have happened here. Firstly, the country has been educated about citizenship, what it means to be a citizen. It's always been blur. It's always been and I mean I think we spoke about this last time, and I was saying that I've always felt that it was never ambiguous about her father being Nigerian, but it was always ambiguous about the mother. You know, it always said that she is of Mozambican descent, and I was always like, why is that one vague and blur and not, you know? And it's come to show now why that is the case. And so that's number one. And then number two, I was always on the case of there's nothing wrong with this girl entering. And even
No.
if she has a family that is, let's say, of Nigerian father, or the mother is South African, but I always felt that with her on her social media, she never represented anything or displayed any
Mm.
any patriotism, any allegiance to South Africa. And I just kept on asking, why do you want to potentially be the ambassador of this country, yet nothing on your social media, your biggest platform, has ever displayed any signs of being South African, of commanding that you are one of us, that you are, hence I couldn't care less who represents us, but as long as that person is a patriot. And then some people would say, oh, what about Ubu Tendai Beeson Tawira? He played for the Springboks, but he's Zimbabwean. Firstly, he was neutralized, number one. And secondly, if there's ever was a representation of being a patriot for the country, would be in a sport like rugby. That guy put his body, his lifeline, his blood and sweat online for the country. If there's no bigger display of being a patriot, it can never be beyond playing sport for that particular country, because you show it. You're not just saying I am a patriot. No. The who beast. You can die in a rugby field. It's a fact. But so that's how determined.
You can fall on them stilettos and hurt yourself too, bro.
Hey man, but the thing is, that thing is an individual winning. You win that thing. It's all about you. Who Beast is playing in a team sport for the country, and I mean he represented it. So I hated that example about the sports thing. And then my last one was, it's her mother who did the crime, allegedly, right? But let's be honest now, guys. Growing up, your mother would tell you about her childhood and so forth. Your mother will cook certain dishes that remind her of her childhood for you. And then when it came to Heritage Day, what did she go to school wearing? What was she doing on Heritage Day? Like, what was she representing? So for her, I don't think she's completely complicit to what her mother may have not told her the truth, but I can tell you for free, she did not grow up in a household that was South Africa proud. Yeah. And those for me were the alarm bells about her.
Another thing I feel, Zizi, like about around the whole thing, is yes, there's this kind of like commotion or noise being made around South Africans and Nigerians, and I think what we are all missing, it is the fact that like it is the truth. It is speaking the truth. We have a large number. We have a large number of people that are in South Africa illegally. So South Africans have been crying about that for a very long time. Home Affairs, the governing party or government for the past 30 years, they've been pussyfooting around the whole issue of border control. There's been nothing decisive. We have Libyans, who were arrested, who were in this country, and that is between a business that is registered, that probably has a system of getting those people illegally into the country. So that means that at border, at airport, at Home Affairs, there are South Africans that are aiding and abating this the scourge, or what South Africans now are feeling. The issue of drugs. We are not gonna so these are the issues that compounded the whole emotions for South Africans, saying that we've been as citizens talking to government. Our jobs are getting, are at risk. Everywhere you go at restaurants, no South Africans are employed. That is a fact. And this is what I think. This is what I think the world, the rest of the country or the world, for that matter, is missing. It's that there is smoke. There is this smoke, and she was just a fire.
Sure. I mean, I will speak from my personal experience. I mean, I lived in Mauritius, I lived in Ivory Coast in Abidjan, and let me tell you, Caesar, I everywhere I was going, my passport was always in my bag or in my pocket, just in case I was stopped at any given moment in
See what I
time
mean?
to be asked for my passport or my visa and what am I doing here. And that's a norm. It's a norm. If I was in Nigeria, it's always on me at any given moment in time. Every country I visit outside of South Africa for work, when I was doing a lot of my travels, that's just a standard procedure that you do not roam around without a
You were
passport on
not
you,
from there.
because you can be stopped at any given moment in time and ask for it. And it's not a case of the nitpicking, whatever it is. It's just the way things are. But in South Africa, let's be honest, our domestic workers, have we ever even seen some of their passports? Do they have working visas here? People roam the streets. They don't carry their passports. They don't carry none of that stuff, because here it's just a loose country when it comes to such things. And that's exactly. And I think that people are frustrated by this. You know it was quite a lot of things came about. Sorry for her to be the championed one, to be the seemingly abused one by it. But the thing is, there's a lot of underlying bubbling issues that have been happening in this country, and even the conduct of foreigners here is they don't behave like that in their own country.
You see,
You know
Caesar,
what
that Zizi, you are now you know you are
living
talking facts.
example.
You are
Facts.
talking, we are talking reality, and this is not something that we should be acting like it does not exist. It exists. You have people who come from another
Go here
country
to Mozambique.
who come to South Africa and threaten police. They threatened law enforcement. There was such case in Joburg just recently. I don't believe this. You know.
You know what? And I think this again, it just proves in Dobana the outcry. There's a point behind what people are crying about, because look what was discovered. Look what was discovered when it comes to this particular family. This woman allegedly stealing somebody's identity, and this is something that happens all the time. The citizens struggle and suffer because people from outside will come in illegally, will then steal identities, and those people that are coming from South Africa suffer because of that. And I think for me to discover that proves the fact, Yobana, this is why then South Africans were making a noise, saying that look into this thing. I think it was also a matter of let's verify. There's nothing wrong with verifying information.
That's
There's
it.
nothing wrong. I mean,
It
we
doesn't
do
make you
this
xenophobic.
all the time. Verify. Emsebenzini ku-HR kuthiwa faka ii-CV zakho Thobeka, so that we can prove into yobana ufundile nyhani le nto ifaka ku-CV, faka ezi zakho, so that we can confirm. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Time and time and again, the government needs to verify the people that come into our country. Ubana balapha ngendlela right. So I don't think that we are fighting people to not be in South Africa. But Nizenjani, how did you come to be here? Did you follow the processes?
And even if you're asked for your paperwork every week, so what? Oksalayo, the bottom line is that it is the processes that should be followed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's silly, and I think it's about time that we actually say shit for what it is, instead of trying to run away from it. And very unfortunate for our so-called celebrated people or celebrities, to come out without thinking. And I think it's something going forth. It doesn't matter what the matter is. Gather your facts. There's an unfortunate situation or practice by our celebrities to just open their mouths just so they can get clicks. They can,
Yes, and
you do not defend.
To look as if you are woke, without actually doing your due diligence in terms of just get yourself educated. And like Usisa was saying, this was now also an educational opportunity for people to understand what does it mean, to be a citizen, and how does one become a citizen, the different types of citizenship also that we came to learn about. So I think sometimes it's okay for celebrities to just take a backseat when it comes to ethnicity, because they're not experts in certain
When
fields,
you
and they
don't
need to learn.
know.
They need to
Mm.
just accept and say, well, we're gonna wait and hear. Let's wait and hear Utin Home Affairs. Let's wait and hear, the authorities when it comes to this situation, and then you can qualify with your opinion.
You see, yeah. So I think like yeah, as you say, Uzizi nailed it. Like yeah, take a back seat, look at the
Sorry, Caesar, your sound is
situation.
a bit weird there, buddy. Yeah,
My
it's almost
sound,
like you're bouncing. Yeah, but it's good now. No, sorry. Yeah.
okay, all
Also,
right.
okay, I think let's
Oh
put
no,
this to
no.
bed. I think it's time we move on to another story. Because
Yeah, round about there. Something very interesting, and I know Caesar. Right there in the tires at the bottom, you will see it. That is the Minister of Electricity out here saying, hey. Load shedding is not totally gone, but we are hoping at least to increase power by the end of August. So yeah, we can only cross our fingers right now, and I think for once the ANC had somebody who is sensible, who is qualified, who respects Msebenzi wakhe, who, because I've always said the fallacy or the problem with politicians is taking people for granted. Because if even if we look at this South Africa story, the issue was the fact that, like, Home Affairs was not, there was no one from government who was coming out and saying, okay, we are still, you know, doing our checks. We are going to come back. That accountability is something that you see with the electricity minister, which I think, like, we should give props where they are due. That guy is doing
Definitely.
a wonderful job, man.
Definitely. And Caesar, when it comes to ESCOM, yes, the minister's done a great job, but the board is to me are my stars. The board identifying the right CEO to come in, getting rid of Director. Do you know Director had statements where he said that ESCOM is irreparable. ESCOM will never be, ESCOM can't be repairable. He was pushing an agenda for solar energy, where obviously people from the West and then benefit from that because they don't have coal to fire power the power stations. It was almost like intentional for them to run it down. It came across because they gave us a bleak view saying this thing can't be fixed. It is beyond repairs.
Mm.
And then we got a new CEO, Dan. Dan came in, with the support of the board, and things now, it's almost like, and I even hated the narrative around the election time saying that, oh no, they're doing this just for the elections. Listen here, man, you can bullshit 20 days of no load shedding. You can bullshit even 50 days, but you can never bullshit 100 days. And by the time the elections came, it was sitting almost at 100 days. I'm like, no, this is not about the elections. They're actually doing the work. It's actually being done. And I'm glad that time has passed. And I was like, okay, we can't, because in this country, it's one of the things I hate. It's almost like we are people who who are always doomed. Everything is always negative. There's never a silver
Mm.
lining in anything. There's never any positivity. We can't even congratulate people for doing a good job. It's always, I know. And then there's a whole narrative of, no, they're burning diesel. Hey, you have to burn diesel, by the way, to run power stations. It's a fact of life that you have to burn diesel. But it's a matter of at what quantity that you're burning the diesel, and so forth. So even till today, they still try, but nobody is saying, hey, that Tereta must be called for a commission of inquiry as to what did he do, because it
Mm.
seemed like he was deliberately running down the power station to push this clean power. Listen here, man, you know that Africa as a continent releases almost less than 15% of the world carbon emission in the air. So we don't have to have a green in our continent. We are not affected. We're not the ones killing the supposed the air pollution,
Climate.
or that we are not them. So why are they pushing a clean energy in our country, in our continent, when we actually like less than 15, not just Africa, the continent, less than 15% of the
Nigeria.
world's carbon emission is from Africa. So, but clearly the agenda is about money. You know, you put in solar, you do all these things. We don't have
Yeah.
the technology. They benefit from that. This wind power, these things. Hey, we've got
Those
100
turbines, man.
years. We have 100 years of coal here. Why are we? Oh, I mean, and coal is a huge economy. So it's and so I mean, Utereta, I swear to God, he must be called accountable. What did he do that he was not doing? Firstly, this guy, his previous job, he ran down. I think he was at Nampeg.
He was Nampeg, yeah, I think.
He fucked out there. Previously, before Nampeg, I think he was at Sasol or Petro SA. He's got no track record of doing anything successful. But he was.
He's been fucking up parastatals.
Listen here, man. There's nothing. Utereta was way out of his depth. That is the truth of the matter. And nobody was brave enough to say it. Nobody was calling him out. But now it is showing. Get the right board in there. Get the right team. Get the right operators, people in there. And look what's happening. They're saying we're producing too much energy.
You know what else we are not talking about also with this stability now? A lot of small business owners are actually relieved because it was putting a lot of pressure on them, load shedding, you know, putting a lot of pressure on people in terms of just being able to make.
They're struggling there with the Toto, but like I feel you on that, Zizi, and I totally agree with you, and I have to say I appreciate the fact that, like, for me, like as I was saying, my whole gripe is that I think we've had this before. Like, there's a lot that good that government has done, you know, but the fact that is that like they do not communicate it. You know, you do not communicate even those little wins, so that, you know, I always used to make this example. If you are building houses in Nelson Mandela Bay, it is important for the mayor or whoever is in housing, whatever is responsible for housing, to go into a community radio station. They need the news where you are saying, like, we were building izindlu ezi-20 ezwide, so the people basemother well kanmen kancinci siyagqiba, we are coming. That level of accountability, just that basic, you know, would have made sure, for an example, that there's a country that is not, I mean, like, there's a party that is not sitting at about 41%, you know. Another one, I think, like, what we just waited, well, we kind of like waiting for Ulandiga Utoto, right? Nota, I just recently wrote to what's his name, Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture.
Sports and Culture,
yeah. And the issue there being the fact that the South African artists are getting ripped off. It makes an example about, I think it's Kelvin Momo, who released, and he was certified gold. Like, you know, it was a record stream on the day that it was his album was released. But when you look at ratings at Spotify and all these excuse me, these platforms, he was sitting nowhere there. It was people that come from major labels that were taking up the higher sports, you know, your top 5, your top 10, which was crazy. And also just in terms of like protection for artists as well, there's the whole Nasty C thing with his management being blamed for extorting money from him. Like I mean, like, they're running him into debt, you know, by taking advances to beef up their, you know, their personal living. So there's that's doing rounds. I don't know whether you know anything about, I mean, like, these are your spaces, you know, your Spotify's and all of this.
No, I don't know anything about the specific artists you're speaking about currently, but what I do know is that Spotify is under a lot of spotlight. You know, artists are concerned about them. The question is being asked: who is making the money? You know, a person has a million streams. When it equates back to money, it's like almost next to nothing. You almost have to make 1 billion streams to make anything resembling any form of money. And the question being asked is what is the business model? Who is making the money in this? Because it's I mean, Snoop has come out blasting them. A lot of artists have come out, just saying, "Hey, man, like, I don't understand this. You're telling me I've got so many streams, and yet when it relates back to the money in my pocket, it's next to nothing."
That doesn't make sense.
And it's we're just in a very weird space now, and with the streaming platform. And I don't know. I can never get too technical about it because I don't know on the technical side. But I ask myself, it's streaming, right? Which means it's exactly the same thing as your Netflix and your Primes and so forth. Why is the film industry seemingly still okay? Because it's a subscription based, right? So they taking the money, and based on the number of clicks you're getting, and based on the number of views of a movie or a series on Netflix, and I mean, you can't tell me Netflix's sole income is from subscriptions. There are other means. Why is that formula working? Because it's all streaming, and yet the music side is under question. The struggling artists are really being hit hard, whereas the struggling producers and struggling actors are actually making leaps in on the audio visual side. But when it comes to just the audio side, the music side, it's there's a lot of question marks, and I think Spotify was even taken to court about this thing. It's like an ongoing case about where does the revenue go, who makes the money, who doesn't, and yes, that's so it's really up for questions. But I think talking about music, yeah.
I was actually about to say that. Speaking of music, we are right up there. We have an album.
Oh yeah. Okay, so so for this week's music review, I'm doing a classic. Reason being is that it's 20 years old this year, by my main man Raphael Sadiq. One of my personal favorites. I call him the oracle of neoclassical soul. The man has been in the game since 1985-6. Just playing the bass from being forming his own group with his brother called Tony Tone. And so strangely enough, with that long career that Raphael Sadiq has had, he released his first album in 2002 called Instant Vintage. And so his second album, which came out in 2004, which is the one I'm reviewing today, called Ray Ray, which is his actual nickname growing up. He was called Ray Ray. His real name is Charles Ray Wiggins. So everyone who grew up around him calls him Ray Ray. That's his nickname from guys who know him from he's from Oakland, California. Yeah, so this album came out in 2004, and it was a themed album. It was loosely based on the blaxploitation. If you remember the movies like Shaft, the movies like Foxy Brown, that whole Superfly. Yes, so the whole theme, hence the album cover is him standing on that old school car with the boots on, looking like a pimp. So the theme was loosely based on blaxploitation, and the music side of it, I mean, so he's a writer, producer, and arranger. So he makes his own music, literally. So there's no, but he obviously usually has a team. And I mean, the album came out 2004, and it's got 15 tracks on the album. The first single was a Chick Like You. And it just had like a bouncy beat, you could have sworn. It's got a DJ Quick kind of sound to it.
Oh,
It was the first single.
That's California, bro.
No doubt. And it had that like bounce, hence like a very funky, groovy, and neo soul album. And then the second single was Rifle Love, if you remember, featuring Dawn Robinson from En Vogue. Shoot me with your rifle love, your track. Yeah. And then I think that then he had a few features on the album. One of the most notable would be Babyface features on the album as well, on one of the tracks there, and then also the introduction of Tidra Moses. I'm a huge fan of
Tidra.
Tidra. Yeah, Tidra's on 2 tracks. She's on a song called Chick, and then she's also on I Want You Back. And like if you know anything about Raphael Sadiq, his signature is his bass line melodies. He's a bass player, and he's got that. His bass line melodies are, I mean, the guys rap about it. Eric Sermon in one song says, super bass lines like Raphael Sadiq. Like everybody knows that the bass guitar that's the man. He's one of my favorite artists. I call him the oracle of neoclassical soul. I think he's one of the creators of that genre, if not one of the founders. And he's just a world of talent. Grammy Award winner. So yeah, the album is a shout out to Raphael Sadiq, his second studio album called Ray Ray in 2004. It's a dope album. It's beautiful. I love it. It's very bumpy. And his solo albums have always been a particular type of theme, and this one was this blaxploitation, funky, that kind of vibe. So that's my album review of the week. The album commercially didn't do well because those kind of artists don't necessarily do commercially well, but in terms of quality music, man, it's a dope album. It's way up there. It's one of my favorites. And that's my weekly review is Raphael Sadiq's Ray Ray album 2004. No doubt. That's me. I'm out.
Thank you, Ray Ray. Thank you, Ray Ray.
I'm definitely going to be going and listening to this now.
You probably know some songs in there. I'm sure of it. Yeah, no doubt. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's time for us to move on, isn't it? And go check out what the Queen has.
Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. It can also be a developmental crisis issue. Keep pushing and stay the course.
The Queen is in the building.
Oh. It is hashtag Momo Sessions, motivational moments with your girl, T Tops, the psychologist. Guys, so it's Women's Month, right? So, and I've been thinking, and we wanting to not just focus on celebrating women, but we want to also empower and educate, right? And we want to champion a lot of things in this month, in making sure that we don't leave any woman at any stage behind. And I've been thinking about you, ladies. I've been thinking about you, and I hope that is a phenomenal message and it will resonate with some of you. But I thought today that one of the setbacks that women get to experience in life is relationships, being in relationships with jealous or insecure partners. One of the major issues that setback women in life. Different kinds of women, I know and they will agree with me. Different kinds of women at different levels. I'm talking different races, gender, sexuality. When you are in a relationship with a jealous or insecure partner, you will find yourself lagging behind with your plans, career plans, with just generally, personal growth. You'll find that it's lagging. But I'm going to give you just 5 things to spot if you are in a relationship, whether you are, having a partner, you're having a husband, you're having, fiance, or it's a situationship, you don't know, it might get into a serious point, but you want to spot the red flags, whether is this partner jealous or insecure? Is this person that I'm with, that I'm planning to build a life with, that I'm planning to journey, within my life, jealous? Now, the first thing that you have to look out for is A partner that wants to isolate you from your support system. That is a partner that doesn't like it when you have plans outside the relationship. A person that gets very annoyed that you are making plans with your friends. Sometimes this is a girl, if you want to pull and go have, a drink or just, have some coffee with our girlfriends. And a jealous partner will not support that. They don't want to see you having a life outside the relationship because they want to keep you locked in and they want to control you in this relationship. They might even be jealous of your relationship with your family. Because remember, some partners don't come, when us Slyso and Sisa, we take for granted that some people don't come from supportive families. They don't come from healthy family environments. So when they see you having a healthy relationship with your siblings, with your mom, it might trigger them. Visit your home, without them, or have your family over. Your people always, or you're always, family, you're too, close. What is it about? So Ebenezer comments is this nice, and that's something that you got to look out for, right? So the isolation, that is, they want to keep you it's just two of us. And of course, Imandila and a relationship where just the two of us, but you want to watch out that it's not really just the two of you because you need your community, you need your support structure, right? And then the other thing, guys, that we don't talk about is when your partner, they don't want to see you succeed in your career. They're actually very jealous when you are developing, and you might sometimes, because identity in life here too is set differently. Sometimes another partner will do better at a different time than the other. So you get a promotion and congratulations, akazi fully, this person una comments as ever since when you got promoted, ever since when we manager, ever since when you moved into a different department, you think you're better than, you're bringing this thing, we le promotion yako, or maybe you are actually accepted into a course, congratulate partner yako because they're feeling jealous the fact that you are moving in a direction that is actually developing you. So they don't want to celebrate your wins, however small or big they are. They feel intimidated by the fact that you might be going at a different level than they are and they are lagging behind you. The other thing is they will drain you. They will drain you emotionally, right? Drain you emotionally, Njani. A partner that is jealous and insecure will have some comments as right? They will either comment on your, let's say, somebody, you are a lady, you're a woman that is trying to get in shape. Your partner will always pick up on the fact that it's you have an insecurity with your body. So they'll make negative comments about that. They'll look at your weaknesses and they will always highlight the things that you are not doing right. If you are a parent, for example, they'll always judge your decision making as far as parenting is concerned. That's an insecure partner, right? They might not even be a good parent one of themselves, but they will judge you in your parent skills. They might judge you in your decision making with your finances, They might judge you for making certain decisions without consulting them because you are, you're independent in your thinking, and that's an insecure partner, right? The other one is they will drain you financially. Now, this is especially for my independent woman, just got your, work situation right, you're just getting your career right, you're just trying to get your finances right. An insecure partner will drain you financially because they are trying to sabotage. They're trying to sabotage you. So you'll find yourself, having to always rescue them because basoloko crisis. Because they don't want to see you stable financially. They want to see you always making uzama for bona. So they're trying to make sure that they're creating these little crises that you have to solve. So you have to look out for that. That is your partner actually helping you to deal with life and resolve crisis together, or are they actually putting in stumbling blocks for you to jump over? Almost like a test. They want to see about, are you going to be able to come this time around? Are you going to be able to actually show up this time around? I want to see how good you think you are. That's a very big red flag. They will definitely also, the last thing is that they are going to definitely work on your confidence, because they don't want to see you confident, happy, and just being yourself. So they will definitely make sure to make you feel insecure. That is, they will make you doubt yourself, your decisions. They'll always second guess your decisions. They'll always make you second guess your decisions by asking, are you sure? Are you sure ufuna senze le nto? Are you sure ufuna uba sithathe a long weekend? Are you sure about you can afford this thing? Are you sure this is the right thing to do right now? So they're always wanting you to actually have that kind of like, hey, and the question, maybe man. Are you sure you want to move? Is this the right time for you to take this job? Are you sure about cope without me? Are you sure? You understand? So the person who actually doesn't help you to make decisions and look at the pros and cons, but they just sprinkle a little bit of doubt in everything that you are doing. So those are my tips for you in terms of looking out whether you are dealing with a jealous and insecure partner, because they will forever be projecting their insecurities onto you, right? And they will definitely, the last thing that you have to look out for is the possessiveness and the controlling part. There will definitely be the possessive partner who wants to know your moves all the time, and they are very much controlling emotionally, because they are the person that will not talk to you because, maybe you didn't pick up a call earlier on. And they are not a person that is going to be reasonable for you, but who explain it, why you couldn't take a call late, earlier on, and just have a mature conversation. They want you to feel whether they are in control, and sometimes it is emotionally controlling, not necessarily, physical control, but they want to be in control of the situation and the relationship. And the idea here is to take your power, is to take your energy, your natural energy as a woman. So this message is for any woman that might feel, actually, this partner is draining me more than actually exciting me, energizing me. It could be that you are dealing with a partner that is underlying or not obvious in their jealousy and insecurity when it comes to you, and you have to make sure that you deal with that by first identifying if zikhona is red flags. You have to accept that it might actually not be the right space for you to be in. And that is my message for you ladies this month. Ndobana, see if you are being manipulated emotionally. See if you are actually dealing with a person that is slightly jealous of you, slightly insecure, projecting their insecurity over you, because that will definitely take away from your power. That will definitely drain your spirit. And it's not a great place to be in if you want to flourish, if you want to move forward in life, if you want to really just tap into your energy as a woman, naturally. As women, you are a powerful being, and you need to always have clean energy around you. That is, the people that you partner with, or the person that you partner with, must be a person that has good intentions about themselves and you, so that you can be able to build a healthy relationship. So look out for those ones. And that's my message for this segment today. And I hope that you guys can keep on following, making sure that you are commenting and letting us know, are you seeing any red flags in your relationships? Is your partner really, really happy for you, in whatever is happening in your life? Or do you sense a little bit of slight of resentment, because that could be just a little bit of oh, kangatsho mani bana happy birthday this month, bangathi uyilibele.
Yeah.
And it's small things. It's small things.
And Tops. Firstly, thank you for that. I'm just allowing for a little Q&A moment on our part.
Sure.
Is this specific to relationships, male and female, these actions, or you are today specifically speaking to the ladies and saying that they should pick up these red flags when they
Yeah.
are, to put it bluntly, sleeping with the
Yes.
enemy? Someone who doesn't
Yes.
wish you well,
Mm.
someone who puts you
Yes.
down, someone
Yeah.
who doesn't congratulate your wins, who doesn't
Yes.
motivate you. Uh,
Yes.
and that is such a killer. You can, when you see somebody suffering in silence, eating them up
Mm.
internally,
Mm.
they even start becoming, they're pulling back. They're afraid to share their joys because
Mm.
because
Mm.
the last time they did, you just dismissed them, and
Yes.
the amount of,
Mm.
and that person, the flag is, that person does not love you. If you
No.
don't wish, the best for your partner, if you don't have a good heart, a pure heart for your
Mm.
partner's endeavors, your partner's challenges, and you're not
Mm.
supportive of them, that person should it's almost like the crab bucket system. They just want to pull you down. They don't
Yeah.
want you to flourish and get out, not
Yes.
knowing that, when you win, I win,
Yeah. Mm.
and it's a lot of women who have not fulfilled their careers, their potentials, because they were
Yes.
afraid of being alone and stayed with a
Yes.
partner. Gone are
Yes.
the days where women stayed home to have children, yet, the one who's supposedly the breadwinner is can't even add 1 plus 1, but
Yeah.
purely by his gender, by his sex,
Yeah.
he is the one who is in control. And it's, yeah, man, it's horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
you build such resentment in that person
Yeah.
that the day,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, when I see, so like, I've just noticed that women who come back from divorces, all of a sudden, we are glow. You're like, yo, what's
Mm.
going on? Like, yo,
Yeah, they're looking hot
this,
as hell, baby.
it's like this return soldier.
I'm like, fuck that
It's like,
motherfucker.
whoa.
What is happening? What is happening? That's a sign. Like you're saying, sister, that's a
Mm.
sign because that means the energy of that person was being drained, you know?
Usathana
And
afune
remember,
nobuye.
yes.
and and
And
and
remember,
children are no longer an excuse to stay in a
about
marriage.
Zange
yeah,
nishiye
yeah.
toolbox yam.
Jonga, Jonga. And the sad part, the reason why I'm saying this today, Cesar and Sly, is of course we're talking about women, right? It's Women's Month here. But I'm talking specifically to women to be able to identify this energy in themselves when they feel drained, because that's a sign, number one. You feel it
Mm.
too. When you have somebody around you, nobody friend, sister, nobody friend, you can just feel your energy dropping, man. And that means that that person is not coming with good intentions over, the space that you are in. And
Mm.
so you have to watch out for that as women. But I wanted to, just for the sake of Women's Month, to equip the women. But this is something that we feel across relationships, friendships, intimate relationships, sometimes even families. But particularly today, I wanted to just, when we're talking about, amanina and the things that will propel them to reach for their full potential, is look out for a person that comes into your life, and then suddenly there's a streak of jealousy that you are sensing or you are seeing. There's a little bit of insecurity suddenly that is projected on you, because that is going to drain your spirit. And it's very important for us as women to keep a clean energy around ourselves if we
Mm.
want to be able to, build families as healthy, build, empires in terms of businesses, grow in our development in the careers that we're in. We need that clean energy around us. The minute kukho lento edrainayo, trust me, that's why you will see these women that are coming out of divorce and suddenly Ngoki energy is different. Lo mntu uyabhounsa now.
Mm. Because uphumile kule. Mm.
Uphumile kulaa nto, being drained. That's what we talk about. Being drained is literally you are being sucked into like a little thing that is not going to
And
be.
people lose themselves in that period.
Yes.
Like, they can't even
Yes.
recognize the person they see in the mirror because they just
No.
been
No.
lost. Yeah.
So we have to be, and we have to stop ignoring that sense that we have as women. The minute I have a sense, no, Manusisa is not saying this with good intentions. I mean it, you know. It's not actually to build me, but it's to put me down, you know. So that will make comments, and you can feel one, but this was not a comment to buy in coulisses. This was a comment to actually crush me,
I
you
did
know.
a joke.
Yes, I did a joke, you know, and it was just a joke, you know. Don't be too serious, man. You know, just
And
you understand.
you
Yeah.
know, Toto, as you're saying, I made a note of that. Like, you know, with this group of people where a person is actually jealous of you, where they are even jealous of your relationship with your parents, and with your siblings. You know,
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. There's probably like a longing. You know, given the I'm just
Yeah.
like yeah, um where you did not have that kind of closeness with your parents or your siblings,
Yes.
so you expect your partner as well to have you know, an unbecoming relationship with
Mm,
you know, with
mm,
their own parents as
mm,
well. So
mm.
that upbringing, you know,
Yeah.
plays a big role as well, you
Yeah.
know.
It's,
A
it's,
very
it's very important. It's very important. And remember, that part I talk about, they and again goes both different genders here, where the partner wants to lock you into just depending on them as a support structure. That's very unhealthy, because now that's a codependent relationship where they say, you know, I'm your best friend, I'm your everything, you look to me. There is no such thing. If we want to be healthy as beings, that means I must have other sources of support outside this.
support.
Yes, you
Mm.
know, so that if I feel up and because supported and I got capacity in family, it's like I wasn't supported, I can go and reach out to my family. I can go and reach out to my friends and then come back, you know, and support my partner who was not able to support me. So this idea also that social media is giving, and no matter, you must rely on your partner and that's it, you know, you come together with this person and that's you build your own world. And it cannot be a healthy way of being, which is why we end up with women who are killed because they were dependent only on this
Mm.
particular person and they never reached to the sister, to the mother, to the brother, to, you know, the friends, because stuck up you are mine and I'm yours, and
Yonke into.
therefore that's, you know,
Mm.
uh, yeah.
Uh, That's crazy. To you who's watching, I just I'm gonna go into our chats and try to find out if we have any people that have the questions they want to ask, or comments for that matter. You feel like you are in that space, but you are not quite sure, because as we say this thing, it comes as you know, Kala, it's like just a thing. Oh yeah,
Just a
it,
comment
but
with
I've achieved this, but
yeah.
like this person hasn't said, you know,
Mm,
emsebenzini, the top employee this month,
yes.
ako, you know.
Mm,
Nakandihamba nechomi,
yeah.
there are these issues. So if you have a question, wherever you whether you are watching us on YouTube, on the Slyso TV podcast channel, or you are watching on Facebook, please, if you have a comment, a question, please, we will put it out while we still have Tubs before we close that. And obviously go check out what's going to be happening as far as movies are concerned. It should be very interesting.
Yep.
um
Yep.
yeah. And another thing, there's what do they call it? It's glamping. Yeah, which is always, I always bring a twist, right? Just to surprise everybody. So that will come after you know, Zizi has given us the movie review. But if you are out there, you have a question that you want to ask around relationships. Oh, I see family all up in here, all up in here.
Ooh, let's hear, let's hear, let's hear.
It's hot, hot.
Oh, loving, loving, loving. Of course, Imamo Sessions is going to get more and more interesting, and people are going to start to understand what it is about, you know. Those
Mm.
real conversations, just sikulisana and really sharing those knowledges. Remember, it's a journey, guys. We must just talk to one another. Let's share, and the whole point is to create a safe space for all of us to come together, sikule, and heal. Heal ourselves so that we can be better humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Good
Comment
stuff.
there from Umxolisi Loko as well, MXO. Thank you so much. No question, just appreciation. We appreciate you, King.
What
And
up, MX?
obviously, yeah, and also my auntie. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Auntie. Oh.
Yeah, man. So that is it. That is the Momo, people. Wherever you are at this point in time, we really encourage you to actually. It is Women's Month. How did you do that?
That is awesome.
You see, this is what happens when you have a teenager in the
This
house.
our uchilo. What to get tagato up? I remember
Yeah.
Zizi. I remember
They
you
keep
said
you
this
cool,
thing.
man. I told you about 2000. They will keep you, they'll keep you cool sometimes. So we need them.
Where
We
does that
need
come
them.
from? Kai
Yeah, I
kazame
love
sis,
that.
kazame sis.
And the ask for Leon Jalan to try hat.
That's the
15
band.
hats
It's
in the
not gonna
shop.
work. It's not gonna work. It's
Oh, there we go.
There we
Oh,
go. All right.
it's all love. It's all
Okay,
love,
let me
man.
try. Let me try. Why is there nothing happening with me? Yo.
Super aggressive. Be soft with it.
You know what your problem
Okay.
is, Stills? You know what your problem is?
What? What?
You know what your problem is?
What? What? Uh?
Those things you call fingers, but they actually look more like ingoni, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You just walked right into that. You
Moving
just walked right
right
into that.
along before this
All right.
gets out of hand. Moving right
Yeah,
along.
there's a question, by the way. We haven't even gotten Sugago, Landigago, MX. Yeah. Cesar, which movies and series you are recommending? I guess he just needs to wait right now for us to go officially
Yeah.
to the movie review, and obviously, yeah, he's gonna know what's up. Thank you so much, guys, and once again,
Thank
it
you,
is.
Tubbs. Awesome.
Yeah, it is a platform for us um to have conversations. It doesn't matter if we bring up a topic and you have something to say around it.
Yeah.
In your comments, in the
Yeah.
comments, you can drop whatever your opinion is, or whatever you feeling, like if you have, because we don't I'm a big advocate of not being a know-it-all. So we want to
Of course.
learn from you as much as we might think that we are connoisseurs or experts in these fields, yeah. So please do make sure that you do drop us those messages, guys, whenever there's time. It's time for us, I think, to go to the movie review.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Sorry, I was so afraid that I thought I'd lost connection. I was about to lose my mind. I was like, whoa. Does this have
No,
to
you're
come up
here.
right now? I'm sorry. Or maybe Caesar decided to cut me off because I spoke about his fingers. I don't know. I was like really, really scared for a moment.
I forget you,
Are you
nigga.
really gonna cut? Are you gonna cut my segment really? Because I said that. Anyway, moving right
What's
along.
beef?
This week's movie review is a movie called The Instigators. It's a Apple TV Plus movie. It came out on Friday, the 9th of August. So, man, I don't know. I don't know how to. Okay, so anyway, just to give you a brief about the movie, and then I'm gonna walk you through my thoughts about the movie, and then I'm gonna give you my review of the movie. So the movie is starring Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, big Hollywood stars, of course. Casey Affleck being Ben's younger brother, and obviously Matt Damon. The movie is produced by Artist Equity, which is a production house owned by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. So I'm trying to give you the power of the movie, you know. So from the cast on its own, you got Matt Damon, you got Casey Affleck, and then the producers is the Artist Equity, which is owned by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And then you have the movie, which is directed by Doug Liman. Doug Liman, he was the director of the first Born Identity. He was the director of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So you're talking about a big director here of big movies. And the cast, I mean, you've got Ving Rhames in there. You got Ron Perlman in there. You've got Michael Stuhlbarg. I'm a huge fan of Michael Stuhlbarg. And the plot is basically a heist robbery gone wrong. And you know what I love about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck is that they always do a lot of movies shot and about in Boston, because they're from Boston. You know, they never forget to take it back home, no matter how big they've gotten. And this movie is actually co-written by Casey Affleck, you know, in the movie. So it's literally about a heist where they try to rob the mayor of Boston, a corrupt mayor who's leaving his office, or he's running for a longer term, but seemingly he's afraid, and he's been a corrupt mayor all these years, and he's been getting a whole lot of money under the table. So Matt Damon is a former Marine, you know, and they get called into this job. He's trying to get some money for something, a limit, you know, and they just so it's a comedy. Partially, it's a thriller, a little bit of action. I was quite disappointed, to put it bluntly. Like I spoke earlier on about, if anything COVID has taught us, was that seize the moment. So now I mentioned the big, humongous people involved here. Talk about the production being Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, the stars being Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, the director being a big time director. And yet I felt like with the cast and with all the resources at their disposal, they could have done a better movie. You know, I literally wrote a review about the movie on my Facebook page while watching. That just shows how I could easily write a review or comment about the movie, because the movie kept on losing me. And an awesome cast, which is it is almost like I felt like it was an opportunity lost. It could have been a better. It's not a horrible movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not a horrible movie. It's actually an average, good movie. It's funny. It's good. It's a good movie. You can watch but you're not going to repeat it. You're not going to say it's a wow movie. And my issue, I would say, is that if you have all of these people in the room making a movie together with the resources, with the talent, man, how often are you gonna get these guys in the same movie with the same budget, and I just felt like it was almost like an opportunity lost, truth be told, or an opportunity not maximized to its full potential. That's how I felt about it, and the rating, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10, because it's just it's I mean, it's like getting your favorite producers and your favorite director and your favorite actors in one movie. Like, imagine if Ocean's 11 was a dad of a movie. That'd be like lost opportunity, because you have such a, it's like similar kind of situation. It's not a bad story, but I just felt like they could have done more, And it came out. It's on Apple TV, and yeah, man, it's very underwhelming, truth be told. I mean, like I said, if one had looked up the movie prior to it coming out, knowing who stars in it, who's behind it, and you walk in there with this big expectation, next thing, that's exactly how I felt. If you watch the movie without any expectation, without knowing nothing about it, you might walk away saying, "Oh, not a bad movie," But if you knew what it was all about and so forth, then yeah, man, it's very underwhelming, truth be told. But do watch it. You might have a different view, and maybe I did say this even in my review on Facebook. I said maybe I'm too strict about my quality of content. I judge harshly, which is cool. I mean, fuck it, I love it. It's what you will never get from me is a review of an average movie and me calling it dope. That I'll never do. I'll never lie to you. But at the end of the day, we must always go back to what film and music is all about. It's all subjective. Maybe there's no such thing as bad music. It's just a matter of not being my taste. And maybe no such thing as a bad movie either, which I question that, by the way. There is... it did not meet the potential. I mean, thank you, MXO, for saying that. Enjoyed Instigator's dry humor, witty, dope script, because you watched it with no expectations, most likely, and that's okay. But it does have moments. It does have moments. I must say that it does have moments where you're like, okay, that's a bit funny. But I mean, man, you don't get like the dopest people. You see, he's giving it a 7 out of 10. I gave it a 6.5. He's being kind, but a 7 out of 10, I won't fight it. I won't fight it, but it's a 6.5.
Okay.
That's for me.
No, that's cool, man. Just before we play the trailer, we were obviously talking about like this move for actors and production houses to, instead of hitting cinemas, which are dwindling right now, and I think throughout, and especially after COVID. Now, in terms of we were talking about revenue, these streaming platforms. Isn't it like isn't there somewhere where it actually benefits the industry, the movie industry? Because now it would be the same family that goes and buys popcorn and blah 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 and all of that. You're able to enjoy this and at your home. Like from actors perspective and production houses, isn't it like sort of like a bumming up of actually now you don't have to ferry yourself to a shopping mall. You can sit and enjoy this at home, and obviously it being gauged by streams.
So it's okay. So just I'll get a bit technical for a second.
Yeah.
So there's a thing called windowing, as in window. In the scripted content space, scripted being movies, series, and so forth. So each content has a window. Now, traditionally, it used to be the first window was the cinema, right? And then people watch it at the cinema, and then after a few months of the cinema, it would move to what they call box office, which would be your rental, where you go and hire movies and so forth. That'll be that window. So that's another revenue stream. And then the next window would be what they call pay TV, which is your DSTV, basically your bouquet operator where you paid. And then the following window would be your free-to-air TV, which is your public broadcasters or any other broadcaster, you're free-to-air. Now, this window of a movie span could be over a period of 18 months. Those are the legs of your window revenue in film. So now what streaming has done is that it's eradicated all of the windows, whereby it's a streaming and it hits the stream and it stays on the stream. And if usually it will be an original, so it will be a Netflix original or Apple original like this one, and it will only ever be viewed on the Apple platform. And it's a working formula because technology, everyone's got smart TVs, everyone can access this thing in their homes, but so now they're becoming smart in how they make their money. So their money will be from things like brand placement. So you'll find a movie has a Heineken sponsor in it. It won't be live. You'll see them drinking Heineken. That's the money coming in there. And then because Apple is making these movies, they're putting their own money into it. So the actors are going, or the producers are going to JVs with the Apple
streaming platforms.
streaming platform, and there'll be, you know, so it's the money of it is literally from the subscribers. You know, Netflix is making originals and series and so forth, and they income generation is not from advertising; it's strictly from subscription. You know, because it's a SVOD, which is a subscription video on demand, not an AVOD, which is like YouTube is an AVOD. You know, it's free, but it's driven by advertising revenue.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
So it's the formula is working. Netflix was the pioneers of it, and they're killing it. Prime Video, I had higher hopes for it, given the fact that the owner has got a lot of money, and you know his ego might want him to just want to fuck up the industry and say, "Yo, screw you, Netflix. I got money. I'm a multi-billionaire, and you know what? I'll put whatever money." And Amazon has been doing that, you know. But I do think that Amazon opened in South Africa the offices, but they like fired half the staff. They're just not doing well. It's weird. I don't know how that. So yeah, we're just living. People are consuming content in a very different way than they were 10 years ago, and it's ever evolving. You know, hence you are asking about the Joburg Film Festival. Why I was involved in that? We sit there and have these discussions. You know, like 10 years ago, you say to somebody they can watch a movie on their cell phone. The filmmakers will tell you, "You're mad. No one's gonna watch a movie." But look what's happening now. You know, you got Showmax offering mobile phone packages strictly, just a mobile phone package. You know, because it's working, and the thing is, it's an awesome time to be in the space because it's unlimited. Because everyone's learning. No one's a master of it yet. Everybody is learning, and I mean, hence you can have such a big name cast in such a movie like this that's not going to the cinema. I mean, even MGM, you know, MGM Studios, one of the biggest MGM Studios, they've started their own platform, MGM Plus. Disney started their own platform. They started pulling all their content from Netflix to build up to make for their own platform because streaming is going in that direction. Yeah,
isn't that leaving us with a whole lot of platforms to subscribe to? You know. Because that's one of the I think challenges. I think we had this conversation, and I was like, I'm using Apple products, so I'm on Apple Music. I'll go with the brand, but obviously now there's Prime, and now there's Apple TV, now there's all of these. If you put all that money together, at the end of the month, your subscription is like, you know, you have to, you know, subscribe to these different platforms.
In all honesty, it's about your appetite for viewing, your screen time on TV. Because you must remember, we're coming from a space where we've been spending 800 rands on DSTV. Period. Now, if you take that 800 rands, you can get Netflix, Prime, Apple, and Disney, and you're still sitting at about 700. You know. As a matter of fact, the only saving grace for the likes of a DSTV is sport. And once somebody figures out sport on streaming platforms, I mean, there is the DAZN, spelled DAZN. They do boxing, so they all the boxing fights, and it's subscription based, you know. And so it's a matter of time till the likes of the Sky Sports or whatever it is decide to come up with packages. And guys, technology is moving at such a rapid pace, and that's where we are, you know. But do watch the movie. You give me your view. Put on the trailer, Caesar. Let's see what they say about it.
Let's see what it's about.
I'm still trying to figure this shit out. My heart is still not popping, man. Let's go to the trailer.
It's your first job. A little late for a career change, ain't it?
Rory, do you want to fix things with your son?
Couldn't look him in the eye. Mortgage, back child support.
That's on me.
Rory, are you sure you've tried everything?
Not everything.
I got a once-in-a-lifetime score. You the Marine?
Yeah.
You the ex-con?
Yeah, I did time, but you're only gonna cast aspersions at me, guy. Go. Good. Stop talking.
No alcohol detected.
Been about a week.
The mayor is going to be holding a party on election night. And there's going to be money there, like none of you bums ever seen.
It's your first job?
I know what I'm doing.
A little late for a career change, ain't it? Be 60?
Quick question. If I'm giving instructions and they're not doing them,
Just say, I have a gun. What are you doing?
taking notes.
Taking notes on a criminal conspiracy.
Get down on the floor! Get on the... Tie him up!
You got like 6 zip ties, genius.
I have a gun!
We gotta find those guys before the cops do. And put them down before they can talk.
Everybody in New England is after us. I gotta speak to you. I really need you right now, Doc.
I would be breaking the law.
What if I took you hostage? I mean, like, with your permission.
What kind of conversation is this?
You're gonna love him.
Rory, you are driving recklessly.
I'm in the middle of a high-speed car chase.
Think about the person you wanted to be.
What kind of person do you want to be?
You walk out with me.
But I'm their hostage. And their psychiatrist.
You're underpaid.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. That is
yeah.
the trailer.
It looks very
looks
interesting.
entertaining,
It's worth a watch, I think.
Sure.
Oh.
It's
A
worth.
few comments. Caesar, okay, that one, no questions, just appreciation. We saw these ones.
Oh yeah, they're still popping up. Yeah, there's one I think that is for Sis Tubbs.
Oh yes. And this
Yeah,
one, love girl.
yeah, it is Women's Month
Yes, of course.
after all. So all of those props we will afford y'all. Okay, it's like I have this little like crazy ass little twist that I always bring up. The last time, remember we popped up what's his name? What's his name? The former president.
Jacob Zuma.
Yeah, for
JZ,
Caesar.
yeah.
Yeah, for Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah. This time around, there's something else. There's something called glamping.
Something
Let's check this out. 1, 2 testing. We just had to come through to have the beers this weekend to do a little bit of excursion in preparation for the glam camp that's happening between the 23rd and the 25th of August in celebration of women. It's gonna be fun. Make sure that you get your tickets and all. Like right now, as you can see, we're gonna have like a boat cruise and obviously some karaoke for entertainment. That's gonna be swell. Let me tell you where you get your tickets and how. Yeah, that's what's up. It's an initiative by a friend and wife. Glamping is happening in Hartbeespoort Port between the 23rd and the 25th. So basically, glamping, I didn't know about it. That's why I thought, like, maybe to share. It's basically camping that went to private school, like some people we know.
I thought as much, man. I was like, glamping. What?
Yeah. So basically, as opposed to oba ulale phezu kwamatye and stuff, like, so you are prepped, you do have like a stretcher and a mattress, you've got hot water, you've got lighting, but you are out in the in the in nature. Yeah. So it's happening on the 20 between the 23rd and the 25th. This past weekend took an excursion to Hartepies, which is where it's going to be. And the nice thing about it is that it's obviously in a protected area, because I mean, having conversations with people around things like camps where there's an opportunity for people to actually being robbed and all kinds of stuff. So it is in a very secure place. There's obviously lighting and such, and just for women to enjoy themselves and have fun. They can check that. They can check that out. I'll leave the details in the comments on both YouTube and Facebook for you, anybody that's interested to check it out. And I'm definitely going to be there for the karaoke.
What a draw card!
How did I know this is gonna? Yeah, but
no, maybe Caesar, you can speak to the people who are the organizers. Maybe they can throw in a free one for us to give away at our next show. Why not? A nice giveaway.
That's
a brilliant one. Brilliant
Yeah.
one. Yeah, but that's all I have. As I say, like there's always over prep from this guy here, but here's something that is worth our while, though, guys. We seem to forget about. I mean, to celebrate. I mean, South Africa walked away with how many in the Olympics? How many?
I think 4 in total, or 5 medals.
Yeah. I think they walked out with the number.
Yeah, and we also got a silver in the relay for the 100-meter, which is pretty. That is pretty awesome, man. I mean, yeah. I was very happy for Usimbini. He's never won a medal before, And then obviously our neighbor in Botswana, the guy won the 200-meter, which is the first. It's actually the first gold medal for the 200-meter sprint in the Olympics in Africa.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, not that Tebuko's going places. He's
No,
only 21.
He is, and quite calm. Like I mean, like for me, whether you're an entertainer or a sports person, your aura, your energy, in moments where where you are celebrated, it means a lot about where the kind of person you are, your background, and actually your potential as well. So I agree with you there, Zizi. Yeah. Otherwise, I think like from my side, that is it. Unless there is anything else that I'm missing.
No, not at all. We pushing the time, which is great. Not a sweat. No worries. All good. Thank you for your time, guys. Love you always. Tubbs, as always, beautiful, amazing.
Before Sibaleke, I have a very important announcement for my ladies. The Uyinene Mkhwetyana Foundation will be hosting a walk in East London. Please do come and join us. Usizweke will be glamping, so he'll definitely be missing out, but I think he'll be back by then because it's on the month end, the East London one.
Okay.
What's it called, the foundation, sorry?
Uyinene Mkhwetyana Foundation. So it's a GBV focused foundation, but it focuses on actually empowering young people. So we are about actually making sure that our young people are not left behind when we're talking about GBV, empowering and educating, especially in the rural spaces. We do a lot of development of young people in the rural spaces, and also focusing on the boy child, because Indosan Ifonia is to empower girls and then have boys who are not empowered, not able to build healthy relationships with these empowered young women. So the boy child is always at the center of what we do as well. But I want to encourage everybody, family, you can make it a family day. We are going to be be out in East London. I'll also send Usizo just a poster to put out there for us, for people who are in the East London space. We will be in Cape Town this coming weekend, that is next weekend, sorry.
Wow.
The same walk as well. We are partnered with the UCT because Uinene was actually a first year at
That's
UCT.
the student.
Yes. So UCT is still very much on board in making sure that the legacy Uinene doesn't die, but also the fight against GBV continues, because we will not stop until we don't have any young girl, any woman, any person, dying because of GBV. So I'll be doing a lot of stuff, man, this month. There's a lot of talking that I'm going to be doing as well. I'm at Nelson Mandela, just doing some empowering talking there with, amazing young people. It's my alma mater, in Nelson Mandela. I did my undergrad at Nelson Mandela. So PE, coming back to do some talk there as a panel member with conference here in NASDAQ. And then, of course, University of Fort Hare will be hosting their 3rd annual Indaba this coming Friday.
Jeez.
And that's hot. That's going to be hot. So, girl, busy. Like I said, it is Women Month, so we're doing the most.
It's the multitasking, baby. It's the multitasking. Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Big
Keep
up,
it
man.
moving. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and for people that are watching, please do follow us on because we also want to be available on the TikTok as well. We do have a page, the Slyso TV podcast. So do follow us so that we are able to provide the podcast there. Our thing is accessibility, where people get help and get entertained as well, and obviously learning about initiatives that are like this, and hopefully going forth. And when you mention Lomcimbika Uyinene, and the fact that all of these things are happening to raise awareness around GBV. I think we need to get to a point where we are able to celebrate women without a tragedy having opened. Let it be. Utoto became the first counseling psychologist to receive this award, so it gets commemorated every year rather than it being tragedy. So hopefully we can get to a point where also our country and our society is in that space. So guys,
nice one, Tops.
Love
Nice
to see you
one,
guys
Tops. Well
there.
done. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah, man. Woo,
right.
Happy Women's Month.
And have a good one.
Women's Month. Yeah. Thank you.